People are well aware that I talk my shit. And I only talk about the shit that I know. So I would love for anyone to address me on this. But I was watching a episode of Law and Order SVU from their very first season, and it was called The Chat Room. And it's about this young girl that met this older guy, and then it was some other stuff that was going on and stuff like that. You know that to catch a predator type of thing and stuff like that. Okay, so it got me to thinking while I was watching it because there was a scene where Stabler, who was the guy that was like um, the lady's partner, and he was kind of a hothead and things like that, but he had a family, he had kids and stuff like that, and dealing with this girl that was a victim, or you'd have to watch the episode because she really wasn't a victim, but she kind of was, but she really wasn't. And she lied to sit up there and actually like just keep her mother off her back or whatever because her mother would kill her if she found out. Because I guess they were supposed to be devout Christians or something like that. I don't know. But um, even though I talk my shit, there's a lot of shit that I keep just reserved. I don't say a lot of the shit that I sit up there and it's like I think. So whatever you sit up there and it's like you hear me say or you see me post, it's pretty much probably the tip of the iceberg because the shit gets so much deeper. But the reason why I'm actually like doing this vlog, this video log, is because I'm in quite the predicament right now. So I have a 14-year-old daughter who in February, late February, early March, something like that, was given permission to go to spend the night at her friend's house. She went to go spend the night at her friend's house. The parents of the friends said that it was okay for her and their daughter to go over to her cousin's house. According to my daughter, the parents were home. They went over there. She said it was what's called a kickback, where there's just a group of kids and they're just chilling. There was a dude that was roughly a sophomore, something like that. He was an upperclassman because she was only a freshman. He was there. Don't know what transpired. I tried to get it out of her, but she sat up and it's like she said that she just didn't want to talk about it. Okay, fine and dandy. All I got was he followed her to the bathroom and they were talking and stuff like that. And he sat up there and it's like he talked her into basically losing her virginity. So, and as I talked to another one of my friends, she told me, she was like, there was a part of your daughter that sat up and actually like wanted to experience it, wanted to lose her virginity and stuff like that. I get that. I really do. And I thank her for her wise wisdom because I mean, like, we grew up in the hood. But they live out there in damn near Canby and Plainfield and shit like that. So they go into the bathroom. He follows her into the bathroom. And she loses her virginity. She misses a period, then another period, then another period. notices that her body is changing. She's getting sick. She's gaining a little weight. She's only had her period for a year, so I mean, like, still new to her. 5 months later, I get a phone call. The phone call says, "Our daughter is pregnant." I'm like, "What the fuck? For what?" So my mind starts doing what it does. I think about everything. So their mother goes and picks me up. She's trying to get me to like find a place where we can go and actually like get her a pregnancy test and stuff like that. And she had already did the little home pregnancy tests and things like that, so she knows that she's definitely pregnant. um what I hear is that, well, what I'm told is that, well, we need to find out exactly how far along she is, because if she's not too far along, then we can get it terminated. Now, this is her mother speaking, and this is also a conversation that her mother and her grandmother had together. So their first thoughts were an abortion. Okay, that was theirs. My first thought was, well, if she's pregnant and it's been 5 months, you can't get an abortion. So I have an empty room in my 2 bedroom apartment. She can come stay with me, and I will help her raise this child while she sits up there and she continues her high schooling. And I want her to know that her life is not over. That was my whole thought process, because at the time I did not work. I get military compensation for my disability. So all my bills are taken care of, whether I have a job or not. And I live within my means. So I pay my bills. Whatever little bit of money I had left over, I spent it on me. That's what I did. But now that I have my daughter coming and living with me, and now that there is a baby involved, I need to get some extra income. So I was spending time trying to find out, hey, trying to get these different types of jobs and stuff like that. Couldn't really get them. One job just was bullshitting around and stuff like that. So I decided that I was going to go work at a grocery store. I turned in my application on a Tuesday, got hired on the same day, and and I started that same Thursday. That Friday I came into work. The manager said, "Before you leave tonight, I need you to give me a call." So I gave him a call. He called. I called him, and he was talking to me about, management. Cool. Okay, I'll do management, but you do know that I am not going to sit up and actually like leave my daughter alone, my 14-year-old daughter alone with a newborn baby. I got to make sure all this shit sits up and actually like works out, because she can't be alone. So my father has dialysis Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. He gets out of dialysis. If I have to work those days, then they have to allow me to come in after my father gets off of dialysis, and he can pick up my daughter and my grandson and be a responsible adult and actually like, watch them until I get off of work. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, She can go over there when I have to be at work because it's my father's off days when he has dialysis. So he doesn't really have anything to do unless he has doctor's appointments, but I will know about that in advance. So I had all of that set up. Everything is cool, fine and dandy. My father was on board. My mother was on board. My oldest son really didn't care. And him and his mother were over here at my place and they were laughing the shit off. Like she told him, um, well, you got a little nephew this great come. How do you feel? And they're joking and laughing about this shit. And my oldest son says, it's not mine. I'm not going to take care of it. And I'm sitting up there thinking, well, that's your nephew. I don't know why you think like that. And I gave him the perfect example because my brother has a now 2-year old son, but he's more comfortable being around females. Even though I am his uncle, I have been around him and stuff like that. He's just uncomfortable around me. The only time he's comfortable around me is when his father is there or when my mother or my grandfather is there. I mean, my father is there. My oldest son has been around the boy. It took that little boy child a while just to get comfortable with him. And I had to sit up and actually like remind him. I said, hey, I am your baby cousin's uncle, but he's uncomfortable being around me because he's just not that familiar with me. And I don't want that for you. Became awkward. Very awkward. The laughing, the jeering, and all that other bullshit, it stopped, it ceased. Became awkward. So, we skip forward. Or actually, no, backtrack. My son asked me when he came over that same day or that same night, he said, so is Genesis going to be living with you? And the thing is that the room that he had when he was living with me is now the room for Genesis and the baby. There's plenty of room, everything like that. And I'm just like, okay, you know what? I already realized you don't give a shit about this grandchild. You don't care about it. And you don't give a shit about your nephew. And you don't care about it. Because you already look at this situation to where it's like, okay, well, she fucked up. And because she fucked up, she just needs to deal with it on her own. Um, I'm not like that. My father's not like that. My mother's not like that. I wasn't raised like that. I wasn't. Hell, because when I first got married at the age of 21, I didn't have shit, but I had shit getting prepared and stuff like that. And so for about a month, month and a half, we lived inside my parents' house while we was waiting on our apartment to be available. Once we set up there and it's like we got out, we tried to stay out and stuff like that. We did everything that we could. Minimum wage. And I'm not saying minimum wage like 7.75. I'm talking about minimum wage as a fucking manager. Right now, I work at a damn grocery store. And when I started, I was a cashier making $9.50 an hour. That's how much I was making. Damn near shit. Almost 20 years ago as a manager. So we were struggling, but we got our place and stuff like that. I know what it's like. I remember what it's like. I remember what it was like to sit up and actually like not want to sit up and actually like get on food stamps because I myself I personally had too much pride. But when a friend sat up and actually like bought groceries over for us and spent $300 and stuff like that, I was like, you know what? This shit is harder than I thought. So we're gonna skip back to the present. So in the present day, my daughter was living with me and stuff like that. Whenever, and this is the thing, whenever she was around me, she is daddy's little girl. And to her, she will always be daddy's little girl. But something happens that fucks with her mindset, her emotions, and everything to where no longer is she daddy's little girl, but she's confused about daddy's intentions. Because when she's with me, the first time that she was supposed to come and live with me, which was like maybe about a couple of years ago, her behavior, she was sneaking out the house. Even when she was on punishment, she was sneaking out the house. Not only was she sneaking out the house, but she was sneaking out the house in the middle of the night and going to stay over at friend's house, or but she wouldn't tell exactly what was happening or where she was and stuff like that. I've actually like went over to the person's house that she said that she was at, and I spoke to the parents. The parents said that no, she was not here that night. Couldn't get the truth out of her, but the parents said that no, she was not here. Their daughter's bedroom door was open the entire night. They was downstairs. There was no way she could have came through the front door nor the back door if they were downstairs. So I was like, okay, all right, that's fine. Thank you. Now I need to go and figure it out this way. But I did want to let you know that this is what was going on. So I told my daughter, I said, either your friend is lying on you or you're lying on your friend. So she came and she stayed with me for about 3 weeks, right before her damn birthday. And during this time, her mother had been sitting up her and actually like putting deposits and payments down on a $1,300 dog. I had went and spent money, the little bit of money I had, because I didn't have a job at the time, but I spent money and I was buying her things that she can do, to not be bored. I do have a library. I have the entire Goosebumps collection minus one out of the 33. Um, I bought that for the kids and stuff like that. I go to Dollar Tree and stuff like that, buy coloring books and puzzles, things like that. I do all that type of stuff. That's what I was doing at the time. And she was with me. Everything was cool. Her behavior, everything was cool. Then I speak to her mother on the phone. And what popped off was that she said, well, I don't want to waste this money. I spent $1,300 on this dog for Genesis for her birthday. And I'm like, so you spending this money on this dog is more important than her behavior and the way that she's acting and stuff like that. She said, well, I just don't want to waste my money. She said, "Well, can you bring her by and like help straighten up and stuff like that, and help make sure everything was taken care of while I go and actually like get the dog and stuff like that." And I was, and my first, excuse me, and my first question was, so after you get this dog, is Genesis coming back with me so I can take care of her and so I can raise her? She said, well, it's gonna be her dog. Okay, okay. See, I see where this shit is going. Okay, so we get over there, we do all that shit. Genesis does not give a shit about doing anything. And I sat back and I said not a motherfucking thing. I literally shut my ass up and let that household happen the way that it did. Their mother kept telling Genesis, hey, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. I'm gonna be right back. And then we're gonna sit up there and it's like we're gonna do your little birthday party, whatever, things like that. Okay. Genesis wasn't hearing none of it. She didn't do anything like that. So I'm kind of pulled to the side. It's like, hey, can you get Genesis to sit up and actually, like, clean up and stuff like that while I go, and I'll be gone for about an hour, hour and a half to go get this dog, and then I'll come back, and then just make sure everything is like straight and cleaned up and stuff like that, and then have Genesis upstairs or whatever or whatnot. Okay. My other three children were there too. So I told Genesis, I was like, hey, your mother's about to go sit up and actually like get your gift and stuff like that, and in preparation for you to sit up there and actually like celebrate your day of birth. Cause I don't do birthdays. I really don't, man. Fuck a birthday. Every day that you live is another year. If you think about it, I don't need an annual celebration, and I'm not about to spend no extra money out of my motherfucking pocket just to sit up and actually like let you know that you lived another year. Cause I do shit for you all the year. I just do. So the other three siblings, they're sitting up there and it's like they just chillaxing, doing whatever it is they do. They trying to sit up and actually like, do this and do that. Genesis starts sitting up there and actually like doing what I told her to do. That she would not do prior to me telling her to do it. So now I get a phone call. Hey, is everything set? Genesis upstairs. I'm about 15 minutes away. All right, so I sent Genesis upstairs, and I was like, okay, we'll go start cleaning up your room and shit like that. So she goes and does that. She's highly aware at this point. Keep in mind, she's supposed to be living with me because of her behavior and the shit that she was doing. But she's highly aware that she's about to get some type of amazing gift. So she's doing everything. She's upstairs. Her mother comes in. Her mother sets up everything, asks for help from the other three siblings, also from myself. And we are all reluctant because we know exactly what's going to happen. We know that Genesis is going to get her gift. She's going to sit up there and actually like go back to living with them. And she's going to act okay for a little bit. And she's going to go back to being the way that she was. So, long story short, Genesis is presented with this little bitty dog that her mother has videos of this shit. I think she did a live or some shit like that. But I know she recorded a video. Genesis is on the ground with this damn puppy. Her mother is sitting up there and it's like she's making comments and talking and stuff like that, making it all chipper and stuff like that. But I look over my shoulder and I see my other three kids. And they're like, this is some bullshit. That's exactly how they felt. This is some bullshit. Because they felt like her behavior did not warrant her to sit up and actually like get this. And to tell you the truth, Genesis sat up and it's like she would brag about the fact to where it's like, well, mommy spent $1,300 on my birthday gift. How much did she spend on yours? Hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's what she said. She said it to them. So then we have, I sit up and I'm like, okay, well, so is Genesis coming back to me? And this is a conversation I'm having with their mother. Is Genesis coming back with me? She says, well, it's her dog. She got to take care of it. She got to learn some responsibility. All right, all right, because I know what I know, but I'm not the one to like to argue about anything. All right, fine, whatever. So I left it at that. I sat up there and I left Genesis over there with her new present. And about 3 weeks later, about a month later, I decided to ask my children, my other three, so how's her behavior been since she stopped staying with me and since she's been back there and she had her dog? Every last one of them said she went back to the exact same way that she used to be. Now she just sneaks out with the puppy. Okay, that's what happened. Now let's start to sit up and actually like start to fast forward. Her behavior continues to be the same way that it was before. And now it's gotten to the point to where it's like now she's pregnant. She didn't really take care of her dog because when I talked to my youngest daughter, it was to the point to where it was like, how do you feel about, Genesis living with her? Like, what's going on as far as like the dog? She was like, well, it's more so my dog because I take care of it more than she does anyway. And I was like, okay, because I don't have it set up to where it's like I can have a pet inside my apartment, and I'm not paying the $250 deposit, nor the extra 200. I mean, the extra $25 a month just to have it here. And it's not gonna be shitting all over my place. It's just not. So Genesis, she comes live with me for a little bit. Um, Things were going on, and I may get into all that other shit that was going on later on. But as far as right now is concerned, Genesis was supposed to be sitting up and actually like living with me, for me to sit up and actually like take care of her and to take care of the baby. Genesis sends me a text message after about a month and a half of not being here because there's always an excuse. She was just supposed to be going back to her mother's house just to go to homecoming to watch her brother play football. She was supposed to be coming back Sunday, so she left on a Friday, no, a Thursday or Friday. She left on one of those days to go watch the game. She was supposed to be coming back Friday. Friday she doesn't come back. I mean Sunday she doesn't come back. And I keep calling and asking and stuff like that because I don't have a vehicle. I really don't. I don't have a vehicle. But their mother works during the day, so since she works during the day, she can't really bring her over here. And then when she gets off of work, she's just tired and stuff like that. Whatever. You want to relax. I get that. Hell, I've been off work since 10 o'clock, and it is now 1:28, and I've been sitting here on the side of my bed. I don't feel like getting up and doing shit unless I have to piss. So I get that. I really do. I don't feel like going to work. Plus, I have an astigmatism, and driving at night, that's just really difficult. But yeah, so um, then she goes over to her nana's house, which is not too far from me, still on the same side of town as me, and she's helping her nana to look after her little cousin. Um, and she's supposed to be getting paid for it or whatever. Okay, that's fine. Cool. Then her little cousin is on like a break or something like that. I don't know. And the daycare is closed. So her nana is going back to work and she needs somebody to actually watch the little cousin during the day. Okay, that's fine. Huh. All right. I get that. Then I'm constantly sitting up there saying, okay, so when you ready to come back here? Well, I'm not for sure yet because of this and because of that and all this other type of stuff. So I kept getting excuses after excuses after excuses as to why she's not back here yet. And then she goes back over to her mother's house. And she stays over there and continues to stay over there. Here's where the plot thickens. I get a random ass text message from my daughter. And I guess my daughter thought that I was gonna sit up and actually like merely do nothing more than just text her back. And I called her and said, no, what the hell is going on? So she sends me a text message that says, I may not be coming back over there to live with you. Why the hell not? And without going into too many details, this is literally what has happened. She is under the impression that I am going to sit up and actually raise that child as if it is my own, and that she can actually, at the age of 14, take care of a newborn child by herself while her mother is at work during the day. And even if her mother switches her schedule to work nights, then she'll be trying to take care of a newborn child in the middle of the night with no adult supervision and no adult help. See, there's a lot of shit that I'm tired of holding the fuck in and looking like I am the fucking bad guy. Because I am the one that set every fucking thing up to make sure that my daughter and to make sure that my grandchild would be taken care of. I was not going to sit up there and actually allow my daughter to sit up there and actually like lose her fucking life the way that she sits up there and it's like she already feels like she has. And I was not going to sit up and actually allow this grandchild to sit up and actually suffer because of something that she sat up and it's like she did underhandedly and sneakingly behind her mother's back. And all of this was agreed upon the moment that I found out that she was pregnant. Now, when my daughter has multiple times called me and said, Daddy, I'm leaving. I want to come over there. I want to come over there because me and mommy not getting along. And she's sitting up and it's like she's in tears and she's crying and stuff like that. And her mother doesn't care that she wants to come over here. So she comes over here. She spends a week. She spends 2 weeks. She spends 3 weeks. And then she goes back over there just because you patch things up. Band-Aid solutions. And then you call me again and the same shit keeps happening. So after the second time when that shit happens, I said, okay, you know what? This shit ain't gonna happen no more. And guess what? For the last month and a half, roughly, I couldn't even get that chance to not let that shit happen anymore. Because now she's gone. Can't get her back over here. Or so they think. um, I am methodical. And those of you that do know me know that I am methodical as I'm methodical as shit. So the last conversation that I set up and it's like I had with their mother to not sit up and actually like let you know the 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours of conversation back and forth between my daughter and their mother to not let y'all know anything at this point. The last thing I said to her was that, so you're not going to let her come back over? And her response was, well, I don't think that the stress at this point in the pregnancy is going to sit up her and actually like do any good or anything like that. And I'm thinking about the well-being of everything. So I said, you know what? Okay. Then I'll just take you to court. And their mother said, well, then do what you got to do. And I said, I will. Hung up the phone. Bop. Didn't send another text. Didn't make another phone call. Nothing. I get a text message later. Their mother said that after me saying that I was going to take her to court to sit up and actually like get custody of my daughter so I can sit up and actually like raise our grandchild, she said that you saying that makes me never want to speak to you anymore. Y'all have seen that post that I did. When it comes to me and my kids, I will burn every motherfucking bridge. And I don't give a shit who it is. I will take care of and protect my legacy and my lineage. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck. My parents know it. And y'all know how much I love my parents and how much I'm a daddy's boy. So, long story short, I have a grandson that will be born within the next 30 days, roughly. And I'm damn near in a custody battle of my daughter because my ex-wife believes that it is okay for our 14-year-old daughter to be at home doing homeschooling and taking care of an infant when she has nothing. She knows nothing about it. And the only thing that my ex-wife has to offer is 6 weeks of FMLA. And then she goes back to work. Yeah, no, that doesn't work with me. It doesn't. Only reason why I lost custody of my kids, not even really custody of my kids, but just lost the ability to actually have them as much as I sat up and it's like I wanted to have them. It's because I hit a very bad patch, and I was living in and out of hotels. And during our divorce proceedings, the people that were in charge of sitting up and actually like um, deciding what was quote unquote best for the kids said that, well, since she has a stable home, she's gonna get them. I still got to see them, but the tables have turned. I accepted it. I didn't say shit just because of the fact where it's like I felt like that was best. But this is wrong. As one person put it, this is damn near fucking child endangerment. To leave a 14-year-old alone with a newborn child, unsupervised. What if this child has postpartum depression? Shit like this does not go through people's heads. I don't get why that doesn't happen. I don't get it. But it's okay. Because, like I said before, I am not the one to be fucked with. I am a protector. I have always been a protector. Parental advisory. I am explicit content. Thank you for listening. Enjoy your day. 808 and always rest easy.